All right, welcome aboard, everybody. My name is Craig Carlton. Welcome to another Tuesday night connected, the Investor Connection. You are here tonight, and we are so excited. I am super excited. I have a very special guest on the call tonight. Her name is Karen Lewis. Karen, first and foremost, just say hi to everybody, although you kind of already have, so do it again.
Yeah, hi to those that have recently joined.
That's right. Yeah. We had a little goof up. We started early by mistake, and we were just sitting here chit-chatting, and so if you were on a little bit early, you got to see our faces and our voices and all that. So, and I was telling Karen that before we started, it's like, yeah, well, you know, whenever you go to a REIA meeting, whenever you're networking, whenever you're meeting with people, you don't immediately jump right into business. You kind of do a little socializing. And so for the last few minutes, we've been socializing. And what we want to do is we want to bring you into our conversation today. So first and foremost, on your control panel, do me a huge favor. Pop the questions out. Inside of the questions, you're going to get an opportunity to write. And what I want you to do is what Timothy has done, and I want you to do what Arthur has done, and Andy and Lawrence. I want you to tell me where you're calling from tonight, and then if you've been to one of our sessions before, type in the number 2. If you've never been to one of our sessions, and this is your first one, type in where you're from and the number 1, so that we just know where you are. Yeah, so let's get past that. But what about you, Karen? Where are you tonight? You're in a beautiful location, but where are you located?
So tonight I'm in the beautiful Wilmington, North Carolina, which is where Connected Investors started, which is where I live the majority of the month. I live here. I still have my home in Raleigh, but I enjoy spending most of my time here on the coast.
I love that. That's beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. The home of Connected Investors when we first started, they had the old PIN software way back in the day. Karen, how long have you been sort of associated, because you've been associated with Connected Investors for quite some time. How long have we known you?
I have been a subscriber for probably over 8 years. And then as far as connecting with your team for my REIA, we did that, I believe, Craig, it was 2022. Okay. We started in it. It was right when right before First American bought them out, because I started when it was still Ross and his team as far as using it for the REIAs.
Yeah, awesome. Good stuff. Well, I'm here in Tampa, Florida, just a little bit north in a nice little town called Wesley Chapel. Let me do just a quick introduction to tell you guys who Karen is. Karen is an incredible investor. She's also, I'm going to read, I have some notes here. Let me read it, okay? She's an incredible investor, and she's a leader of a community of real estate investors. Karen is going to join us. She's going to share some facts to help you maximize your investing success. You're only as good as the people you surround yourself with, right? And real estate investors are no different. So we're going to discover some strategies. We're going to find some different ways to network, to connect with people, and really, during the session, we're going to talk a lot about that. What I'd like you to do first and foremost, Karen, if you don't mind, is just kind of tell us sort of how did you come into this world? Start your journey, and as much time as you need.
So I have always been interested in the real estate investing. My husband has for 30 plus years been in the commercial space. And for the last 20, we've really done development. My love has been more in the residential, and ironically, it really started, for those of you that remember some of the hurricanes, Hurricane Fran was a really bad one in '96. And it came in literally in Wilmington, North Carolina, and went up the coast. And I lost my home in Raleigh and everything in it because of the storm. So I was single, had this home that no longer existed, and I had to live in it because I couldn't find anywhere to live. And as it was being built around me, I fell in love with the construction world. I was fascinated with it. So I have to give thanks to a hurricane maybe to get me into it. And then, my husband and I helped him. I stopped in, I quit my job in 2000. I was one of the directors for sales and marketing for what's now Verizon Wireless, back when it was GTE. So I stopped that when I had kids, and got a little bit bored in that beautiful downturn in 2008, decided to build a $2 million spec home. Don't ask me why, but did, by the luck of grace, sell it. So after about 2016, my kids were getting older, and so I started just kind of tinkering with some fix and flips, went to the REIA, and that's where I really got more involved in about 2018.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so 2018. Now, you, just out of curiosity, and I think you do, you and Dana are connected at some level. Isn't she part of your group as well?
She's in the Charlotte group. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. One of the gals that we work with here, her name is Dana Burrell, and she is just an amazing investor. We love her to death, and she's a huge advocate for the REIA group. So she's part of the NCREIA group up in Charlotte, and so we have this. I have a connection to you all up there as well. So, but one of our most successful individuals, folks, that you're listening, like on our call tonight, one of the most successful investors that we've worked with is Dana, and she is a huge proponent of the REIA groups, getting out there and networking, not just using software, not just doing one thing, but really getting out there and exposing yourself to different folks. So tell me a little bit about REIA. Like, what does REIA stand for? What does it mean? And why do you like the REIA so much?
Well, REIA is Real Estate Investor Association, and they're all over the country. There are different types of REIAs. We're not really meetups or that kind of thing. We really are an organized association. Some of us are for-profit, some are nonprofit. There are two different kinds. For me, I got more involved in the REIA in 2018, and then we decided to kind of switch things around and bought into it. So now there are 4 of us that are the executive staff of NCREIA. What I initially got out of it was, you know, me like everyone else, I would go on YouTube and, you know, all these Facebook, and you would see all these trainings and education, but they scare the heck out of you because there's no vetting of them. Right. And when you really kind of research them, a lot of these people selling these have never done a deal. So I started meeting some of the, I hate to call them gurus, but they're truly great teachers in the space. Connected with one at our REIA, Robin Thompson. She's kind of the queen of rehab. Went to hers and, you know, kind of then fell in love with it again. As I bought into it, though, we decided we wanted to make it even bigger and better for our members. You know, our goal in a REIA is not, first and foremost, is networking. You know, it's not tell me who you are, it's tell me who you hang with. And so we have a lot of meetings where we get people together, get them networking together, but we also are very passionate about the education and the training and the products that we bring our members. We at NCREIA are a little bit, and I may be speaking out of turn, so if you want me to stop, you tell me. We're a little bit of a unique REIA in the fact most REIAs, like if you're in Atlanta, it's the Atlanta REIA, and there might be 2 or 3 of them, but that's where they focus. NCREIA, we decided, I guess we got bored during COVID, we decided to open up branches pretty much all over the state. So we are a unique REIA in that, but we're just extremely passionate about the education and the training. I have so many people, Craig, that come to us and say, you know, I'd give anything if I found you guys 6 months ago. I just paid $30,000 for a training that I got nothing for. So we're super passionate about that part.
Yeah. So who is a REIA for? Like, who really benefits from the REIA?
So we have of our close to 1,000 members at NCREIA, it totally is across the board. Most of the people have some interest in investing, whether it's wholesaling, rehabbing, flipping, Airbnb, midterm, long-term, you name it. They have some sort of interest, or we have a really large population of realtors that join our group. And we try to educate the realtors. You know, if you're a realtor, you generally sell a house to somebody once every 7 years. I may buy 7 houses a month. So we're starting to kind of bring that network in, but just anybody and everybody that has any kind of interest in investing, whether you're a newbie or whether you are very experienced. And I say that because most REIAs, ours especially, try to help all the new ones, but we also try to help those experienced ones by bringing products to them that they may not know about, such as connected investors. Right. We are very passionate about bringing them the tools to make them successful. A lot of people say, well, you know, I'm experienced, I don't need a REIA, I don't need networking. You always need a REIA. You always need the networking because, you know, it's an ever-changing business that we're in. Right now, it's a really important time to be a part of a group, if nothing more, to network and learn what I'm trying to do. Am I headed in the right direction? The 4 of us that are the executive team, we have a varied experience. You know, I've done fix and flips, I've done midterm rentals, I've done commercial. One of our partners has done fix and flip. She does a lot of Airbnbs. She even owns them in different countries. So as you can see, we bring a lot of experience to our members and to the table.
Yeah. So then that actually kind of goes into the next question is, so in your opinion, what's the financial benefit to somebody going to a REIA?
Well, if you look at our REIA, and that, you know, I can speak to that. And I'm also in a mastermind group that we are with 12 other REIAs across the country, some of the biggest ones. You know, our membership dues are very low. Our membership dues are, for a full member, it's $199 a year. We have a total of 18, 19 meetings a month. So do the math, it's pretty cheap. But the benefit is, you know, we're bringing you tons of information. Like if you go on my website and go to the vendor list, I've got a lot of hard money lenders. I've got flooring, cabinets. I've got you guys, connected investors. I've got people like REI Black Book, a CRM. So we also try to vet and bring you the best tools that they are out there to be an investor. You know, you can be an investor all day long, but if you're not keeping up with what's going on, especially like AI, VAs, you know, we're all using VAs now. We even have a source where you can get VAs already trained in the real estate space. So we're just bringing you not only the education every month of something new and interesting, but the tools to make you successful.
Yeah, perfect. So we have a question, and I'm going to hold on to that question for just 1 second, Amoro. The question is, how do you become a member? What I really kind of want to do is, Karen does offer some memberships, and we're going to talk a little bit about that towards the end. So you're going to get an opportunity. But what I'd like to do is kind of segue into what, it sounds like there's some little feedback there. Oh, that feedback is me. Let me see if I can turn my mic down a little bit, see if that'll help it a little. I think my volume's too loud. All right, so what should someone look for when it comes to a REIA, whether it's yours or another one? What kind of things do you feel like sort of separate the ones that are really providing value versus those that are just whatever?
Yeah, so there are a lot of different REIAs, like I said. There are some that are formed by people that are selling their speaker platform. You know, that they have a product that they're trying to sell. You know, some of those are good and they have great content. What you really want to look for, I call it a broad REIA. A REIA that has speakers on various topics. most of us, just about all of us, have what we call a main meeting every month. And that's your big meeting. That's where, you know, we bring in the Jay Connors that talk about, he's the private money guru. You know, we've had Robin Thompson, we've had Ron LeGrand, we've had all of the, you know, big people. That's your big meeting. But short of that, we also have what we call subgroup meetings. Like every month we have, and a lot of the REIAs look for this. You know, if you're interested in, let's say, Airbnb or short-term rentals, we have a subgroup on Zoom for that. So we have a lot of different subjects that we touch. You really need to decide, as I tell my investors, what lane are you driving down? Do you want to be a wholesaler or a rehabber? And if you're going to join a REIA, make sure that REIA can suit your needs. Make sure, look at their website, look at their calendar. That's where you find out exactly what they have, is by their calendar. You want good content that you can learn something from.
Okay. Now, obviously you're a little biased. Do you think that there is a difference between one that has a cost associated with it versus one that might be free? Do you see a distinction there in your mind?
Yes, because you get what you pay for. The majority of the REIAs, I will say, the ones that are true real estate investor associations, most of them have some sort of annual, monthly, whatever they want to charge cost associated with them. You know, if you look at our REIA, it's not cheap to do what we do. We have like our main meeting every month. Think about it. We have to rent space, you know, venue space. We provide food to our members at that main meeting. So just those main meetings alone, you're getting 11, 12 meetings a month, and you're getting venue space and dinner. You know, at like ours is $199. I don't think you can go eat 11 meals for $199.
No, I agree.
So, but it's also, you know, I'm sure there are some great ones out there that are free, but just look at, again, what content are they bringing to you? And is that content important to you as an investor?
Yeah, so you want to be aligned with the group that you were looking for. I love that. Okay. Just another little transition. Now, you've been involved for, gosh, almost over a decade now. What I would ask is this: what are you seeing today, right, post-COVID versus previously? What are you seeing? What's the big difference between either the group itself or the people that are attending the group, or maybe both?
Well, prior to COVID, in our main meetings, we would have up to 300 in the room.
Okay.
Then COVID hit and we had to go, everything went on Zoom. And I think people got really used to being able to sit at their home, you know, they can eat dinner and they can still attend a meeting. So, you know, we learned a lot during COVID. And as we went back to in-person meetings, we did learn that there's a large group of people that may need to do meetings on Zoom. So now our attendance is more like in the 100, 150 range. So there's a huge group of people that don't want to come in person. Now, our main meetings, we do not Zoom. If you want to see our big speaker, you come to the main meeting. But we have learned that a lot of the other things, that's why we do so many meetings on Zoom, is this is the way of the world and what people are wanting now. But I still go back to, there is nothing like being in person, shaking a hand and getting to know someone.
Yeah, you know, it's funny you should say that. It's one of the things that I remember when I first started working in this world. I used to do phone calls. I was nervous about doing video conferences. It felt strange. Then I started doing the video conference right during the COVID time frame, and it was like, this is a no-brainer. Like, you can have a real, genuine conversation even over these calls. It's a little bit less personal. I can't shake your hand. I can't give you a hug and high-five you when you do great. But I think that, you know, if you're not participating in something like this that's very specific to your success, then you're really missing opportunities. And I think that I'm going to tell a really quick story, and I won't tell you the whole story, but Dana, shares a story, and maybe you could mute yours for a second, because I think that might be coming back from the, just mute yourself. That might help. Yeah, that actually did help. I muted you. So Dana actually had this deal that she was working on. I used to tell this story when we did our lives. And she was working on a deal where she was trying to find a wholesaler or find a buyer for this deal, and she just couldn't find the deal, couldn't find a buyer. She spent a long time. The woman that she was working with really trusted her and really wanted to work with her, so she didn't push her. She was like, well, whatever you can do, you can do. And Dana was determined. And one afternoon or one Saturday, she was at a REIA meeting. I remember her telling the story. She was at a REIA meeting, and she was talking about the deal that she had, and somebody that was just by earshot heard her talking about the deal. Well, he walked up to her and started talking to her and mentioned, hey, what about a subject to, like a creative deal, like a creative financing? And Dana had not really ever experienced any, hadn't really done one. She's done a bunch of deals, but she's never done a sub two. And this gentleman was like, why not do sub two? Let's do a sub two. I tell that story to say this: she would not have known how to do the sub two. And in that moment, had she not been there, having a conversation with somebody altogether different and someone overheard.
Yeah.
So the benefit is the proximity. That's the key.
Yeah, and we do, in all of our live meetings, and most REIAs do the same thing. If our meeting starts at, let's say, 5:30, then 5:30 to 6:30 is dinner and networking, because that is a huge, huge part of, you're going and being there. And they laugh at me, but I go around, and if people are just sitting at a table with people they know and just chit-chatting, I'm like, nope, let's get up, go network, go shake hands. I want you to get 10 new cards. So it really is important to have that face-to-face, and the education and the knowledge that are in those rooms will blow your mind. You will start saying, hey, my name is so-and-so, I'm a rehabber, I'm new. You may be shaking the hands of a new contractor who may say, hey, I'd love to partner with you. So, and then having the vendors there, again, we have a lot of vendors that are in that room. They show up every meeting, and they have a little table, so you can go in there and find a hard money lender and talk to them about your project. So it's just that one-on-one, getting to know the people and getting to know the people in a different light. Again, it's 100% networking.
I was muted because I want that echo. That's what I expected. So, and real quickly, just everybody, I had turned the PowerPoint slide off. Can you all still see our faces? I haven't done this before. I want to make sure I did it right. So we can see each other, but I want to make sure that they can see it. So if somebody could just give me a yes, you can still see our faces, but you don't see the slideshow anymore. Yes, thank you.
Yes. Yeah.
Good. An acronym, REIA, is a Real Estate Investing Association. That's what it means. You can see the slide still too. Oh, interesting. Huh, all right, well, no worries. I thought I'd removed it. Okay, so let's kind of step away from how has the REIA meeting changed? Meaning, are you seeing different things, say, pre-COVID, post-COVID? Are you seeing a difference in the types of deals or strategies or approaches? Is there anything that jumps out to you? And had you not been at the meeting, you may not know about it.
Yeah, I mean, we have definitely changed since COVID. And I mean, if you look at where interest rates were, where they are now, people always say, oh, I can't invest, interest rates are expensive. I tell people, I don't care if you go get a 12% hard money loan for your first one, go do it. And if you only make, 30,000 instead of 40,000, you've got a huge education. So they have changed. We try to keep up with everything that's going on, not annually, but monthly. In North Carolina, I don't know if anybody on here is in North Carolina, but we've got this really bad wholesaling bill on the table right now, and it would really crush investing. And I think it's called HB. It's either 737 or 797.
What's the date?
Basically, it would tell you that if you, Craig, wanted to go buy a house for your kids, you couldn't do it because you weren't living in it. You could only buy, it was the craziest thing, oops, excuse me, I have ever seen in my life. And it was backed, obviously, by the Realtors Association, because what they wanted you to do is have to get a real estate license to do anything. And we have worked on it. We've got, through NCREIA even, we've, given people the names of their congressmen, senators, writing them. We have been able to pull it down somewhat, but things like that, we really do try to get involved and bring, right now is everybody scared to death of investing.
Yeah.
And we try to tell them this is the time you want to invest, but invest wisely.
Right.
Sharpen your pencil, look at your numbers a little bit different. And, our speakers that we have, we set them up. Usually we have our speakers for our main meeting lined up a year in advance. We've stopped doing that because it seems like things are changing so quickly that we may need to pivot and have somebody speak on subject 2 instead of wholesaling. Or right. So we're very much, all the REIAs really do try to keep up with what's going on in the industry and help navigate it. Right. That's one of the most important things we do.
Yeah. We get the question, I get it all the time, like, hey, I don't know my local market. How do I learn my local market? One of the things that we provide with the software is we provide some market reports. And while they're very informative, why they really help, they don't really tell the true story of a local area. And so anytime I have someone that asks me, what should I do? Really, the second thing I say after, hey, look at the report is you really need to see if there's any local REIA groups in your area. That way you can get connected, start locking arms with like-minded people. What advice would you give to someone who is thinking about it, but they're worried about being sold something while they're there? Because I hear that all the time. Oh, they're always trying to sell me something. What do you tell people that are nervous, but how do you guys handle that?
So we do sell things, no doubt, like connected investors. However, I say we're like Amazon. You go on, you get what you need, and you leave the 300 million other things on there for someone else. You've got to decide what's good for you. If you feel like you're being sold, you don't have to buy. The only thing you have to do is become a member to get the education. Yes, some of our speakers will sell into a boot camp. Do you have to go to that boot camp? No, because we require all of our speakers that are going to speak there to at least give enough information for someone to take something home with them. On all of ours, whether it's a Zoom meeting, an in-person, we try to not bring super expensive things. There are some things that are expensive, but again, you as an investor have to decide what is right for you. And if it doesn't feel right, take a step back and don't do it at that time. Talk to someone that's bought it. But if it doesn't feel right, step back.
Yeah, no, that's very fair. I love that. Awesome. So what would be your advice? So say somebody's brand new, they're not sure what they want to do. What would be the first step? How would you encourage them to move forward in this business? Obviously, I'm going to tell them to go use software and just go do it, right? But what kind of advice would you give somebody knowing that a REIA group is probably part of your equation?
So we get so many people that they just want to be an investor. They don't know what they want to do, but they want to invest. So what we try to do is bring them in. And as a member, you have all kind of meetings. One of them is called New Investors, and it's on Zoom. And Lionel Finley is our trainer. Lionel is a master. He's a GC, but Lionel has done a little bit of everything. He's been a trainer for Fortune Builders. He has been a trainer for Tarek El Moussa, the Flip and Flop Tarek. So Lionel has done a lot. Lionel actually lives in North Carolina and is actually one of my board members. So he runs that new investor group, and it's a 4-part series. And you can, like, if he's already done part 1 and 2, you can jump in at part 3 because he's going to repeat it. But he basically goes through, I've seen him say, okay, do you have a business card? Show me your business card. And it's on Zoom, and he will critique it. He'll say, okay, that, Joe's Shack is really great, but how is Joe Shack going to tell people what you do? So he really does help you. He'll tell you how to set up your LLC, because you really should buy things in an LLC or something. So he goes through that. We go through briefly, what is wholesaling? What is flipping? What is Airbnb? So we try to help get people down a path. But again, if you really still don't know what you want, we tell people jump on any and every meeting of ours you can, whether it's the Airbnb, we even have commercial, jump on them, because you may find a nugget that sparks your interest. I would say 80% of the people who start in real estate investing start in wholesaling. Then they wholesale. Then they find that one deal. They're like, dang, I'm tired of giving these deals to these flippers, and they make 5 times what I make. So they do that first deal. And so then they become an investor that way. So there are many, many ways to start. We really do try to help you figure out which path. A lot of the REIAs don't have phones that they answer. That drives me insane, because if people have a question and then they're calling a number, they're calling because they want something. And y'all will laugh, but NCREIA is answered on this little pink cell phone of mine that I carry. It rings all the time, but I do try to help people and steer them in the right path.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. All right. So what is your, so if someone's looking for a REIA group locally, what are the top 3 things you think they should have? The REIA that they're looking at, like, if you knowing what you do, if this REIA group's got these 3 or 4 things, they're probably spot on. That's someone you could go for. Help them pre-vet.
Yeah. So there are REIAs all over the country.
How many? There's over what, 140, 120, 140 local chapters, and there's over 40,000 investors that are in those groups collectively. So currently there's over 40,000 people invest in REIA groups across the country. That's something.
So I would look, first of all, proximity. Where is it to you? First thing I would do is go to their calendar, look at what they have, and does it align with you? If it's one of the groups that they only have 1 meeting a month and it's all about one subject, that's probably going to tell you that that's owned by a guru who wants to promote their products. Look at the calendar. Make sure they have what I call a main meeting. Most of us, we call ours main meeting. We have a Raleigh main meeting, a Charlotte, and a Wilmington. But make sure they have one good meeting, and look backwards. Look at some of the speakers they've had. Ask them, what kind of speakers do you have? So I would look at that. I would look at their vendor list. See what kind of vendors are aligned with them. Are they bringing things that you feel would be beneficial to you? And then, the third thing, look at how many members they have. If they have 20 members, might be a red flag. It's not to say that it can't be good, because we do some small meetings and they're great. And just your REIA is, if you're looking for one to go to, yes, find it in your area. But like my REIA, I have members all over the country, because we have what's called a virtual membership too, because people like a lot of the Zooms that we have. We have our short-term rental education per se really can pertain to anyone. Yes, it is all market specific, but you have to do the due diligence in your market. But a short-term rental is a short-term rental. how you outfit it, how you, dress it up, get it ready, take pictures. It's all the same. Commercial, commercial real estate is commercial real estate. So, but if you want something in your local area, just look for that, go visit. They should all give you a guest pass for your first meeting.
Okay.
Always ask for it if they don't. And just say, I want to come, you don't buy a new car without going to test drive it.
Right.
I want to test drive the REIA. Very few of them charge for that first meeting. First meeting you go to of their main meeting. They should want you to come. They should want you to see who we are, what we're doing, and how many people are in the room. How many people, if you take the time on a Tuesday night to go to this meeting in person, especially if you live in California and the traffic's horrible, or, New York or whatever, if you're going to take the time and get to that meeting, how many people are going to be there? How many people am I going to be able to shake hands with? So look at those things, and, you have to assess what's good for you, but going as a guest should tell you everything you need to know about that group.
Yeah, I love that. So what would be a good, other than connecting with you on a virtual one, what would be a good way, what's the easiest way for someone to find or to source the REIA groups locally? What would be the best way for them to do that?
So let's say you're in Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay.
Just put in your Google search, Phoenix REIA, REIA, and you will probably get 3 or 4 of them that come up. Most of the major cities have more than one REIA.
Right. Okay.
Source it to what's close to you. A good example is one of your staff, Craig, lives in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Right.
And I told her, you should go visit a group. You can see what a REIA actually does. So she had to kind of make sure it was within driving range. Some of these huge cities, it can still be in Dallas, but it can take you an hour and a half to get there.
That's right.
So, just source them that way. And if there are a couple around you, go visit both of them. Yeah. Go get a guest pass, go see all of it, and then take a step back and make your decision. I am gonna, at the end, offer if they want to, join ours, or if you want to reach out to me, I will help you find one. That is, if you want something local, I will try to help. Like I said in the beginning, we have 12 other REIAs that are part of a mastermind group. If you're in one of those areas, I can tell you that is a good group.
What are some of the areas? Well, we have folks on the phone.
Gosh. We've got one, New Jersey, Baltimore, 2 or 3 in Ohio, Nashville, Tennessee, Kansas City, Minnesota.
Florida?
Nothing in Florida yet.
Interesting.
Maybe believe it or not. Yeah.
There's a bunch here. They need to be part of your group. There's a bunch here.
Yeah, Florida's got a ton. Yeah. I know there is one little one down there that just started up. And is it New Smyrna Beach, or is that how you say it? Yeah. There's one of the ladies in Ohio had a member, and this happens all the time, that moved to New Smyrna Beach. And she was like, there's nothing like your group down here. So this leader in Ohio said, fine, let's start one.
That's my next question. I love that you said that. So you got them all over the country. You can do virtual. What if you want to start your own? Maybe now the person that started in New Smyrna, were they already involved and had some experience? They weren't new to real estate. They were just new to the REIA kind of thing.
Well, they weren't even new to the REIA club. They had been a part of her group in Ohio for years and loved what she did and all the education. So when they moved down there, she, who is very experienced, helped them and is still kind of helping. That's kind of I guess, a subgroup of that Ohio group, believe it or not.
I do believe it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, okay, so if somebody didn't have a group locally, how would you recommend that they go about getting a group locally started? What would be the best plan? How would you approach that?
Well, you know, I will say starting NCREIA is not easy. Ours is a full-time job for 4 people. But we do a lot, but it's more of a lot of people start as a meetup, just meeting somewhere. We're going to get together at wherever you can find a quiet place. You really do need a very quiet place. You know, we meet in all kind of places, but when we meet in, like if it's a restaurant, we make sure there's a closed room. Because you do need where you can get together. We've had a lot of people ask, a lot of people start, believe it or not, women in real estate. It's always called buyer. And that starts usually by women getting together. They talk about all the issues, and then they start bringing in speakers, and it slowly forms. To start NCREIA is not easy. I'm just going to be the first to tell you, finding those speakers. We get some of these big speakers because we're a larger NCREIA. Most of the gurus, and again, I hate calling them gurus, but that's, you know, the educators, they will not travel. Like if you call Jay Connor, who is based out of North Carolina, but he truly is the greatest to help you get private money. He's the private money authority. If you have a group in New Smyrna Beach, Florida, and he asks you, how many attendees do you have? Oh, about 20. He ain't gonna travel. So you've got to have a large group, and that is one of the reasons we get such great speakers, because we are a large group. A lot of those people, when you start one, you have more local talent. Find somebody who's an Airbnb person, have them speak. Find the next month, find someone who's a buy and hold. They have rentals, have them speak. But it's not easy, but I will tell you, generally in most parts of the country, unless you just live in the middle of nowhere, there generally are groups in your area. And I would love, I'm looking to see if I can see where some of your people are. Atlanta.
We're all over the place. We had them in, well, we have Connecticut, Cleveland, Hartford, that's Hartford, Atlanta, Rochester, Phoenix, Arizona. We have Salt Lake City. So they're all over the country, all over the place. Florida, Stafford, Virginia.
I see that. I see somebody from North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Woody Wilson. Woody, you are pretty close to me, so not far away at all. That's interesting. You don't see people living full time. Well, Myrtle Beach has become more and more. I see somebody that says North Carolina too, Florida. Yeah, so you've got a little bit of everything.
I love that. You know, so one of the things that I kind of want to make sure that everybody knows is that when we get off our call tonight, we're going to be basically sending you over Karen's information. So what I'm hearing, and just I'm making sure that I'm hearing this right, you have a couple of different ways that you do it. You have like a regular monthly, but you also have a virtual option where it's virtual only. Is that correct?
That is correct. That will allow you to go to any of the meetings that are virtual. And we have, gosh, our virtual meetings are, you know, short-term rentals, new investors, experienced investors, mobile homes. Believe it or not, that's a huge, huge section. What else? Commercial. I do, as you know, Craig, I do a monthly Zoom meeting for our members that are connected investor subscribers or kicking the tires and looking to buy it. I'm a firm believer. Listen, Craig and them have all the training you could ever want. I do that meeting every month because I know that investors love getting together with other investors across the country and training with like-minded people. So everybody that gets on that Connected Investor that I do the 4th Tuesday of every month at 7 p.m. Eastern, everybody's an investor of some sort. They may have Connected Investors, they may be test driving it. I do the same thing with our REI Black Book CRM. We do the same thing, we train on that. So you can look at the calendar, anything that says Zoom, you can be a part of. That's our regular Zoom meetings. We also have some Saturday sessions, and those come from being part of that mastermind group. All 12 of us donate our time and do those Saturday sessions. And they're generally all day from like 9 to 3, 9 to 4. It's on Zoom. You do pay, if you're a member, those are like $47 for an all-day training. And the subjects are so wide and variable. But the beauty of those Saturdays are, if you sign up and you can't make it, you get a full recording of the entire thing. Cool. So we do try to meet people everywhere that they want to be. You know, like I said, we have people all over the country.
Yeah, very cool. There's a question from James, and I would ask you to ask it again. I'm not sure what you're asking, James. Could you re-ask that question again? Kind of came through a little jumbled. I don't know if you were talking into it or fat finger typed it like myself. So maybe re-ask that question. Awesome. So well, you kind of actually answered the next question, which was, you know, how do you see connected investors working with, you know, REIA groups? Like, in your opinion, what if someone's not working with a REIA group versus someone who is working with a REIA group, but someone who has leads? Like, so say somebody has our software and they're kind of on the fence about doing a group or not. I know you kind of already talked about it, but what in your mind, do you know of any of the benefits of why they would want to do that?
Well, you know, using your software is getting them the leads and all that. Being a part of a REIA group is more of the education, the training, and all of that. You know, I'll be very honest. When I looked at bringing a platform like CI into our group, because, you know, the one thing people need are deals and money, period. You're not going to be an investor if you don't find deals and money. So I had used Connected Investors for a long time, but when I started looking for it for my group, I test drove every platform out there. And I kept coming back to, I look at things as more of a partnership than a, you know, vendor or anything like that. And you guys were a great partner for me and my folks. Yeah. And everybody that I have, like you, like REI Black Book, Damon Remy is a great partner. I know that I can pick up the phone and call Damon himself, and he's going to answer if I have a problem. I know that if I have a problem with CI, I've got a host between you or Matt or Jennifer. You know, I've got real people I can talk to, not a chat or anything else. And I'm very passionate. I want our members to have things that work for them. It doesn't do you a darn bit of good to buy Connected Investors or any other platform and not use it. So we're very passionate about bringing them in and training them and getting them going.
Cool. So this is sort of another side note, but I don't know how aware you are of the new collaboration tool inside of our software. Do you have anybody that you've heard from inside of your group that's using the software that's worked with the collaboration part of the new platform? Have you heard anybody?
As far as just working with the new platform, period?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're getting a lot of people that are using it. I get calls every day. You know, trying to look this up. I had a call today with one of the new people we onboarded as far as another REIA under, well, he's not a REIA, he's a guru, teaching them how to use it, and just fascinating. To me, one of the most fascinating parts is not only can I find properties, but the buyers list is just, you know, phenomenal. And to me, a buyer's list means a little bit different than it would to someone else. The buyer's list for me is people that are investors out there, and if they're not part of my group, they need to be.
Yeah.
Because they're investors. So to me, that was just awesome. The whole thing, I go back, you know, like I said, 2000 or whatever, 8 years ago, when it was a pretty basic platform. And what you guys have done with it over the year is phenomenal. Tyler hats off to Tyler. He does a fantastic job. And just so your listeners know, sometimes you guys even get on my training with me. Like last month, Tyler was on, you've been on, to help in any questions that our users specifically may have, whether it's one property, how they're trying to do their lookups, or, whatever they want to use. You guys have been super helpful with that too.
Yeah, cool. So with the collaboration, it's a little bit of a different slice. What happens is inside of our software, there's something called collaboration, and my brain is firing. The idea would be, if say you are working a deal and you know another person that has the software, right? And they are part of your REIA group, and what you want to do is you want to talk about the deal, but you don't want to have to send it over and do all that. So there's a feature inside of our software called collaboration. And what that allows you to do is it allows you to connect via email with anybody that already has the software. So for Karen's group, anybody that's listening to the call, what would happen is, say Joe and Kevin are buddies in the REIA group, and they're talking about a deal there on 125 Main Street, and they want to go in together on it, or they have some questions about it. In our software, you have the ability to tag a person and say, hey, I want you to look at this deal with me. How would that impact the REIA? And what I guess I'm saying is, I know what it's doing, but have you ever seen any tool that does that, where it'll allow people to talk to each other in the same tool?
No. And that is something it's funny you say that, because our next training is coming up this month. I think that's something I really want to focus on for my next training, and use that, maybe get 2 people that are on it, and let's use them as an example. The whole thing, you're asking people to network, and by networking, you may start doing deals together. You may form a partnership, and that just blends so much with that.
Yeah.
Like you said, you're not having to make the phone call or text or send an email. It's in there.
Yeah.
Just connect. So we definitely want to start focusing on that a little bit more. There's so many new things in y'all's platform, and that's a great thing. It's exciting.
Yeah, obviously we weren't talking specifically about the software, but there's 5 things it does better than anybody, in my opinion. It's finding properties, it's finding those cash buyers, it is running those comparables. The running comparables is so time consuming, takes so much time. I'm sure that you do training on running comparables, and one of the things that I teach people is running comparables shouldn't be difficult, but you need to know how to do it. The same way that adding and subtracting and multiplication and division, you need to know how to do it by hand, but who does it by hand? We always use a calculator. We always use
Absolutely. Yeah.
So with comparables, that's something that we do uniquely different than anybody else. The 4th thing is running those calculations, right? Running calculations, the same thing. You need to know how to run the calculation by hand, but we provide you a tool that I say, okay, hey, Karen, I got this deal. I've run some calculations. I just sent it over to you. It's in the notepad. Take a look at it. Tell me what you think. Are these numbers good? That's like, when I think about that, I get goosebumps, because I know that that's something that everybody, when they first start, struggles with, right? They're like, I don't know if I got a good deal. Are my numbers good? You're going to get great information with the software, but bouncing that off of somebody without paying an arm and a leg to do it, working with somebody at a REIA group, to me makes so much sense, right?
Yeah, and maybe partner yourself, if you're newer, partner yourself with someone who has a little bit of experience. The number 1 place that we see people get in trouble across the board, whether you're a wholesaler, rehabber, flipper, buy and hold, whatever, is they do not know how to estimate repairs. That is by far where people get in trouble. They say, oh, this is going to cost, the rehab is $20,000. Well, not really. Let's see, you need a new roof, you need window. Oh, a roof is $5,000. Tell me where you're going to get a roof for $5,000.
That's not a roof.
no, we focus big time. We actually have weekend seminars 3 times a year on teaching people how to estimate repairs. that gentleman that I told you does our new investors, Lionel, that's done Fortune Builders and Tarek El Moussa, he actually runs that whole seminar on estimating repairs. And that's the one thing I would say to anybody on this call. If you don't know how to estimate repairs, find somebody that can teach you. That is the number one place you're going to get in trouble.
Yeah, I love that. Awesome. Well, we are getting up right about at that time, Karen. And what I wanted to do is I had a couple quick questions, and I'm going to let you answer. So this person has come to your group, and they have said, "Hey, should I stick to for sale by owners till I get my first deal? What should I do for my first deal? How should I find the leads for my first deal?" Is ultimately what his question is. What is your opinion?
So for sale by owners aren't bad. You're going to find those by driving for dollars. But guess what? When you come back and you've got that, you got to have somewhere to go on and find the comps or anything else. So yes, driving for dollars isn't bad, but I show people, you know, I'm a firm believer in using something. You know, the old days of going down to the courthouse and going through the records, you know, not quite what you want to do. So I tell people, you know, get on these trainings with us and let me help you learn how to use this platform properly. How to find, you know, what do you want to, if who's asking the question? James. You know, first question I would ask James is, James, what do you want to focus on? Do you want to do probates, pre-foreclosures? What's your niche? Where are you trying to go? Because if you are just looking for sale by owners, there's really not going to be a motivation out there.
Right.
It could be any sort of motivation. So, you know, for sale by owners are great, but I prefer to focus on, like, I love, and y'all's new software, maybe y'all heard me, you listened to me, but the senior owners thing. I tend to buy, probably the last 10 houses I bought are elderly people that are trying to go to some kind of retirement home, and this home that they have is the noose around their neck. So try to find something to focus on and run that for a while. You know, if you run it for 3 or 4 months and you're not getting anything, then change your focus. If you're on probates, then maybe go to pre-foreclosures or, you know, vacant properties. But, you know, I would tell you, James, if you're in my group, I would say, let's have a conversation. What are you trying to do? Because you can't, for sale by owner, again, is great, but that could be anything. So let's talk and pull you in.
On the for sale by owner, not to interrupt, the only motivation is they don't want to pay the real estate commission. That's why they're doing it most of the time. They don't want people traipsing in their house and then have to pay 3-6% of the commission. Yeah.
But 99% of the time, the for sale by owner people want as much, if not more, if it was listed on MLS. It's not a deal per se, unless you're riding around and finding a for sale by owner dilapidated house.
Right. Right. No, I love that. Awesome. Yes, we will definitely get the contact information out. So what we're going to do is, we don't have anything here. I do have one little slide that I wanted to show you, everybody. This is for a free trial of the software currently. One of the things that I will say is this, and I don't even know that I was planning on saying it. You know, as we were talking, Karen, one of the things that really popped up is we do daily trainings on the software. So we're training on the application, like how do you do a search? How do you do a skip trace? How do you do all that stuff? And so the training that we provide isn't really how do you wholesale, although we've got some great training on what that is and how to do it and all that. What I really am, what's kind of eating at my brain right now is I really want folks to get the software, but I would love for anybody that's on here to wait to get the software from Karen's link, because what we're going to do is we're going to send a link out with her information. And if you really think about it, partnering with Karen, but also partnering with us, you'll actually have some built-in teachers, trainings that you can be part of. Obviously, there's a membership fee. They go above and beyond in the training. I do one of the trainings for them, you know, every other month or whatever. So I think that, you know, if you're interested in the software, you don't have it, then there are definitely some people that don't have it. I would encourage you, we'll send out a piece of email either tomorrow or the next day. It's going to have all of Karen's information to her REIA group and everything. If you're not in North Carolina, I would tell you, try to see if you can get connected with one of her other groups that she's affiliated with. And if worse comes to worse, she can put you in the direction of a really good group to participate in. But ultimately, I want to see that collaboration. I really want that. I love that. I think that's what we're going to do in our next session with you, is talk about that collaboration. I think that's a really smart idea. Oh, could we go ahead and just get the address for your thing right now? Someone's asking for it. And what I'll do is, if you just tell me what it is, I'll type it and I'll send it to everybody.
My email address?
Yeah, your email. Yeah, your email. We'll do both.
It's real simple. Karen, Karen, at NCREIA.com. Karen at NCREIA.com.
I'm going to send that to everybody. And then I'm also going to send, I think I sent that to everybody. And then I'm also going to send, is it www.ncreia.com?
Yep.
Beautiful. So NCREIA.com is also her website. So everybody should have that as well.
And I will go one step further. I will be brave enough to give you the phone number to NCREIA, and they can call me if they would like to. Some people like to email, some people like a phone call, and I'm good with that. It's 919-604-9093.
Beautiful. And everybody, you've got it. Now, if you want to see those, you have to go into the questions box. Everybody has it in the questions box. It's right there. I posted it to everybody. Love that. There was one more question. I'm mainly focusing on commercial properties only. I'm curious as to who I can speak with to discuss a deal. Do Investor Connection have a mentor assist new commercial investor? This is a Moro. What would be your recommendation, Karen? We don't provide advice.
Yeah, I mean, we have a commercial group that meets every month on Zoom. I don't know exactly what he's trying to get into. And what location he's in. Amaro, if you want to reach out to me tomorrow, I can just ask you maybe a few more focused questions and see if I can align you with someone that might could help you or figure out exactly what you need.
Yeah. Like I said when we first started, Karen is a connector. You can tell she thrives. She's bubbling. She gets excited. She got a big grin on her face doing that. It's like obviously something that you love giving back and doing that, and it comes through. So I guess the last thing I wanted to do is we're a little bit over now, and that's perfect. I wanted to give you an opportunity to do a call to action, a challenge, something that they can walk away with, and now they want to take action. What would you encourage people to do, or what's good words of advice?
Look in your area, go Google, see if there is a REIA. If you find one and you want to ask me about it, you are more than welcome to reach out to me. I will tell you again, we have a lot of members across the country. Just because we're NCREIA doesn't mean you have to be an NC. I do want to offer on this call, normally our virtual membership is a $99 annual membership. And I mean, you can get a full membership, but no need to, because if you're not in the North Carolina area, you're not coming to the meetings. So the virtual membership is normally $99. I do have a special that if you guys want to, Craig, do you have that join NCREIA 50 that you can put up, or?
Oh, I don't have anything.
You can put it in the chat. If you put it in the chat, it's join.
So there's a coupon code, right?
Coupon code, join NCREIA 50.
The number or letters?
50, number.
50.
Yeah, and what that does is it gives you that $99 subscription for half price for the first year. And it's not a calendar year. Yeah, it's not a calendar year. It was, if you join tonight, it's a year from tonight when you will renew. I will tell you, our REIA has we're one of the few, we have 100% money back guarantee. If you join our group anyway, if you're in person and join, you're in North Carolina, or you join virtual, and you go to at least 6 meetings, whether it's Zoom, in person, whatever, and you come to me at the end of the year and say, Karen, I didn't get a darn thing, give you your money back.
Yeah.
We believe in who we are and what we do. So we'd love to have you. You know, if anything, please reach out. I see somebody's in Texas. Yes, virtual, please. I'm in Texas. If you go to the NCREIA website, and now I will say this, sometimes websites, REIAs are a little confusing. If you want to join, reach out to me tomorrow and I'll be glad to walk you through it, because you do have to set up kind of a free account and then you join. So I'm more than happy. I did book out some time tomorrow just to talk to the people on tonight's call. So you've got my phone number, you can email me, and I will certainly help you. We do have this 50% off for the next 2 days. I extended it a couple days just to, you know, to give everybody time if you need to go talk to your spouse or whatever. I can assure you.
Karen, it's a no-brainer. For $50, money back guarantee. If you attend 6 meetings in the next year and you say it stinks, then you can get your money back. But you probably spent $50 on your Netflix subscription last month. So yes.
Well, or a couple of Starbucks, you'll be there. So
yeah, exactly.
You know,
right.
I highly encourage you to get involved, whether it's my REIA, another REIA. You know, get involved. We say my REIA because I am bringing you the stuff like Connected Investors. And there are a couple other ones out there with us on this, but not a lot of them. So we'd love to have you.
Great question. Raymond said, hey, what chapter do we join if we go to the NCREIA one? Is that the actual chapter called NCREIA.com? Or is it, yeah?
There are, Raymond, you are ahead of the game, brother, because there are 3 chapters. There's Raleigh, Charlotte, and Wilmington. You can pick any of them. All that does is help me know which area is growing for the in-person. So you can pick Raleigh, that's the main chapter, or any of them. It doesn't matter because you get the whole enchilada anyway.
Wilmington's where my
thank you, Raymond. You're ahead of the game, brother.
I love that. Awesome. Well, good stuff. Well, hey, Karen, I really appreciate it. Everybody that stayed on a little bit late, longer than normal, I really appreciate you. We know that you could be anywhere. You decided to be with us tonight. One of the things that I want to leave you with is this thought. This business is not an individual person business. This is a people business. You do not want to try to attempt this on an island. Don't do it. It's not going to work. And I don't mean that like you can't do it. What I'm saying is it's so much easier when you have a support system, people that you can talk to, you can bounce ideas off. Look, every single person that has done deals has already been wherever you are right now.
That's right.
There's no mystery. They'll be able to help you get past things, you know, help you get past those nervousness, and celebrate your wins, you know, that kind of thing. So my encouragement for you tonight is this is a get into action. I encourage you all to join this REIA group. And if you don't join hers, take the time to look locally, like she said. Go find some local REIA groups. Make sure that they're going to let you come in a couple of times, once at least, to get a view of what it looks like. If they aren't going to do that, don't waste your time. And then if you have any questions, if you're nervous about one, if you want some more undercover work, please don't hesitate to reach out to Karen. I am so honored that she came on. Thank you for spending your time with me, Karen. I learned a few new things myself.
Well, thank you, guys, and thank all of you for spending your time with us.
Yeah, awesome, good stuff. All right, well, hey, everybody have a wonderful rest of your night. We will see you all in a couple of weeks. And Karen, you have a great night as well, okay?
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Good night.